In this video, I'll be reviewing a viewer's VOD on console. If you're a console or PC player, there's a lot of information in this video, so be ready to learn some new stuff. Also, half of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so double check and make sure that you are. A lot of people assume that they're subscribed when they really aren't subscribed. It's completely free and it helps out the channel a ton. Links to all my social media down below, as well as my coaching service where I've helped over 200 clients, including console players. Coaching starts at $7 a month. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the person who just walked into site died, which is like, it's important to like pay attention to cap can placements, goos, barbed wire, Malusi placements. You are Malusi, but like I'm saying, when your teammates are placing down their utility in a solo queue environment, it's important to pay attention to where they're placing them, so that way if you hear the audio cue, you know kind of where that general area is when you hear that audio cue. So yeah, very important. This guy died in sight. The cap can heard his own cap can, knew where it was, and then went and killed that person that walked into hookah. Pre-aim here as well. So do you kind of notice how when you're transitioning from looking at Cool Vibes vase, like right here, do you see how you're looking at a gray area or an area that you don't really need to be looking at, if that makes sense? So with pre-aim, you should be looking at the areas of threat, right? So you're looking at Cool Vibes, that's great. But when you go to look down the hallway, it shouldn't be something where you're kind of panning across like this. It should be going from Cool Vibes here, which would be like position number 1, to directly position number 2, which would be down the VIP hallway. And I understand that you're on controller and your joystick can't move the same way that a mouse can on a mouse pad, but just trying to make that transition a little bit faster, so that way if somebody is potentially walking up this VIP hallway, you are ready for the gunfight a little bit sooner. That's something that a lot of console players should implement, like no matter what rank you're in, is proper pre-aim, because it's much harder to aim on a controller, especially with a lot of you guys probably playing against keyboard and mouse players on console. That pre-aim can really determine the difference in the outcome of a gunfight. So having proper crosshair placement and just overall being ready for the gunfight and getting that first bullet on the head can immediately win you the gunfight, right? Since it's a one bullet headshot game. Very, very important thing that all console players and even PC players should implement. Okay, so this is actually really interesting here. This is something that I call painting yourself into a corner in terms of positioning in gunfights and stuff. You always want to be in the better position in a gunfight or before a gunfight, right? You want to have the bigger stick. And this is something that I talk about a lot with my clients and my coaching. By the way, a link to that down below in the description if you guys are interested in a 1-hour VOD review session like this. But painting yourself into a corner is a habit that a lot of people have that they don't realize they have. So what I mean by that is you're putting yourself in a position where if you want to cross into Billers behind the bar, the couches to your right, you have to cross this Ace's line of sight in order to do so. Does that make sense? So if you want to go from position A here and go to position B in Billards, you have to cross this line of sight there. So you want to put yourself in a position where you have more options in terms of positioning, head height, and all that good stuff for the gunfight, so that way you're not predictable and the enemy can't cut off your rotation like I'm showing in this example here. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm talking about there. And just to add a little bit more onto this, you notice how fast you got slammed immediately? That's because you didn't change your head height, you didn't change anything about your positioning. From the last time the ace saw you, you were still in the exact same position in terms of where you were in terms on the map, and also the head level that you place your character in, which is another very important layer to positioning itself. Is you don't always want to be crouching or standing whenever you're in gunfights. Like, you always want to be changing that level, so that way, again, you know, the one bullet headshot isn't being used against you and just instantly slamming you like in this situation here. So just to give an example of like what you could have done in this situation, you could have pre-fired and crossed when you saw the ace unpeak from you. So in this example here, or this moment exactly right here before the ace kills you, you could be standing up, crossing, and pre-firing all in the same motion. So that way you can be in position B, which is, you know, over here by the billards, and you can control your positioning more. Okay, so something that I want to bring up, I bring it up a lot. Getting on cams, guys, it's super important. I know in solo queue environments it might be a little discouraging because people aren't responding to your callouts. Like, there's no interaction back and forth. It's like a one-sided thing where you're giving calls, nobody's responding. But even if they're not responding, still give the callouts. It's super important. Just because they don't respond doesn't mean they're not listening. So getting on Aqua default here, you have the Velk up as well. There's high chances that, you know, at least 1, 2, or maybe all 3 Velk cams are still up because Coastline is a super good map for Velk. And, you know, we're seeing a ping come out here as well, a yellow ping, and I'm assuming that's most likely going to be on the ace, just because there's really no reason not to ping. Or there's really no reason to ping if the enemy isn't there, if that makes sense. So, yeah, like, just getting on cams, checking them at least, is always better than just spectating and getting pretty much no information out of it. Okay, so the default Aqua reinforcements. So you actually, a lot of the times, don't want to reinforce this. You either want to leave it soft or put some sort of holes on the wall, because this is a lot of real estate for the attackers to take advantage of. And the reason I'm bringing this up and going so in depth in this is because if you look at Aqua, you can kind of see that 1/3, almost half of the room is on this side of, you know, this soft wall here. And an Aqua take, you know, the attacker's taking Aqua, trying to plant on the bomb chassis just on the other side there on default plant, is a very common attack for the attackers. So, allowing them to play this side of the room here by you reinforcing it is just allowing them to play in safer positions and having more real estate that is safe for them to play. So by leaving that soft, putting some sort of footholes on it, or head holes, crouch holes, whatever, will allow you to add pressure without even having to do much. Like you punched a couple holes, like with a Rooney, for example, or, you know, Valk, you can use our Deagle. Just put some holes on there. The chances of them crossing to that side and playing there are going to go down drastically, just because it's not safe, and they're kind of, again, you know, painting themselves into a corner by positioning themselves on that side of Aqua. So by you reinforcing that, that gives them complete safety from any bullets from the bomb site. Also, I do want to mention, putting your bandits on this isn't really that great, because they can just walk into Aqua and shoot them, you know? Your bandits would be much better off on all 4 of these walls, just because these walls here are super crucial, especially if they bring like an ace or a Habana, if the attackers do. They can open this wall, cut off like half of the site rotation, right? Like you can see the billiards window to your left, you can see Hookah rotate, all that stuff from the roof. So yeah, putting all 4 on this wall would be much better. And also, another thing to add on, you using the walls on Aqua is not going to allow you guys to reinforce VIP wall, which is super crucial, especially in the higher ranks. If a team does do like a Aqua VIP take, which is pretty common, they're going to open the VIP wall to cut off the line of sight, you know, cut the bomb site in half, as I like to call it, from VIP itself. So allowing that wall to be soft is going to allow the attackers to shoot it open. Bucket, Ash, Sophia, you know, that wall directly behind you on VIP lone. Okay, so you are going to reinforce it. I like to see this. Since you kind of split the reinforcements up a little bit here, I would still like to see some be donated towards Hookah. Like, for example, this wall here, a lot of people in lower elo don't reinforce this wall on this bomb, or on this map, just because they don't really understand the importance of it. And the reason you reinforce it is because if somebody goes 90 VIP, they can wallbang this, and pretty much not allow you to play Hookah in the only safe position, to be honest. Like, playing anywhere else besides this little area here near the hatch, near the bomb chassis in Hookah, is a very difficult thing to do. So yeah, like, that's why you reinforce this wall here, so that way it allows you to play Hookah a little bit safer and eliminate some angles from 90 and VIP. Alright, so with you roaming like this, that's fine. Like, roaming is fine, but you need to pay attention to what's going on the bomb site as well. Like, currently you have 4 roamers and 1 person on the bomb site. This is a 5v1 on the bomb site for the Kapkan. So, in solo queue, you need to be willing to make sacrifices. And this is an example of sacrificing what you want to do for the benefit of the team, for trying to win and all that stuff. Another thing with you roaming is not looking for drones in default locations, like pre-placed drones, stuff like that. Like, you didn't look 90, you ran past top white stairs, didn't really look too much, which is a common area for drones to be pre-placed from the attackers. Theater, penthouse also as well. So kind of open your eyes up when you're running around to your first initial position where you're going to start your roam for the round, and just look for drones on the way there, because you know, getting that one drone could save your life. Okay, so that's the Polstead. That's a lot of information, because that tells you that they're taking somewhere below, which looks to be like Cool Vibes, Sunrise, something like that. And it seems like you're kind of rotating for that, so you do know that that's a great read on the information there. I would say you're playing a little bit overly aggressive, though, with the information that you're getting, right? I don't know if you're getting active calls or something. I can't hear your teammates. I do see them popping up on the right, though. But either way, there's 2 minutes left on the roam. That's a lot of time, so you don't want to throw away your body and get over aggressive there, which you kind of did, and it could have punished you. It doesn't seem like it's gonna happen so far, but the Pulse died in Sunrise 20 seconds ago, so it's very easy. It's easily possible that the Thermite or whoever killed him is still down there. You just kind of want to take things a little bit slower. So actually, if we go back here, this is something that like happens in the game a little bit, but like if you guys see this, there's like little pieces of debris. It might be kind of hard to see in the video. Maybe the editor can like slow it down and play it back. But you heard a Zofia, and then you also saw debris pop out. So that tells you that it's probably either a Vault Cam, your bandits, or a Kapkan. Either way, it's somewhere above you in VIP long up here. So that's Zofia up there. So you kind of know where 2 are at. You know, Zofia is somewhere like 90, VIP door, VIP long, somewhere around that area. And then Thermite was down below. He could be Hookah, he could be walking up Cool Vibes, who knows. But you kind of have general information on 2 out of the 3 attackers. Yeah, see here, like, I really hope you're realizing, I think you are realizing now that there's really nobody on site besides the Kapkan, so you're rotating. So situational awareness is actually pretty good from you. As I say that, you completely avoid the fact of what I just broke down of the Zofia being above. You heard the audio cue, you also saw the debris of the gadget fall through the floor. So just kind of a small nitpick there. I think you might have been hyper-focused, or maybe you just didn't know about that little kind of piece of information that you can get from stuff like that. But either way, I hope that like that helps out, because that, like I get information like that all the time with someone like shooting a goo, bandit battery, Kapkan, Vault Cam, and like the debris of the gadget being destroyed falls through the floor. So you knew which operator it was, and you kind of had a general area. So you crossing from VIP along there should be taken a little bit more cautiously. Okay, so decent crosshair placement. I would say you should bump it up a little bit. You did get the headshot there. So that's what I was talking about earlier with decent crosshair placement on console. Very important that you guys implement that. Personally, I've never played on console, but I know how it can be. Like, I played Call of Duty, Battlefield, and stuff like that for like 10 years on console. So, like, I know how important headshots are, and how difficult it can be at times to aim with a controller. So yeah, I would just like to see you raise your crosshair placement just a little bit. It was a little low when you killed that ace in luggage, and I think the recoil kind of took over a little bit and like kicked up and then headshotted him. So just bring that up a little bit. The best way to tell like where head height is at exactly, if you barricade a door, I believe there's 3 buckles or 2, but either way, if you kind of look on the sides here, like the left and right, on the side that the door is barricaded, the little like trim pieces, I guess you could say, If you look like towards the top, you'll see a buckle, and just a little bit above that will be like head height. Like, I don't know, like 6 inches or so. Okay, so... Alright, this is interesting decision making. I would say it's pretty poor decision making, to be honest with you, just because you're not fully taking in what's happening in the situation here, right? So it's still a 1v1 on the bomb site. You are close, but you're not in the immediate refrag area. There's virtually 10 seconds because it takes 7 seconds for the attackers to plant. So as long as you play your cards right as a defender with low time, it's pretty much always a guaranteed win. So like 10 seconds, pretty much if you let the Zofia plant, but 18 seconds on paper if she wants to go for the kill. So the Kapkan is fighting, you hear the Zofia shooting and all that stuff, and you hear her go prone, you hear the Kapkan shooting, and then you hear the Zofia. Now, you decide to go 90 with 15 seconds left. You need to evaluate what's going on in this situation. It's much better that you preoccupy the Zofia and waste as much time as possible than trying to rotate and flank, right? Because she's engaging the Kapkan through hookah wall. If you swing out Billard's double door, that's like not necessarily a crossfire, but it's kind of like a unintentional bait from the Kapkan. Like, he's baiting out the Zofia, you swing and pretty much get a freebie, right? So hitting the rotation here, the flank, is not a good idea at all, because by the time you get to luggage, aqua, or decide to turn around and rotate back, Kapkan's either going to be dead, killed the Zofia, or something else might happen. Who knows? But yeah, like, it's much better for you just to fight the 2v1 here than try to flank. There's no reason to flank here. Okay, so barbed wire placement here. It's a little interesting. You put one service door, which is fine, but you need to like look at what you have in terms of map control as a defender. You want to control as much as you can comfortably as a defender, and then slowly give it up to the attackers until the point where you're kind of on the bomb site, and then by that point, hopefully you wasted enough time with inching the map control to the attackers, and then you pretty much are set on the bomb site, and you just use your utility to stall plant and stuff like that. But yeah, so placing it here versus bathroom door, like, look what you're giving up, right? You're allowing them to walk into bathroom, look, you know, close bathroom door like there, on the bomb chassis, on service, rotate through kitchen door, swing close kegs, all this by misplacing one piece of barbed wire. So just think about that the next time you're placing barb, and how important it can be. Kitchen window would be a lot more of an important ADS placement. See, this is why it's important. I say this a lot in my videos, but think about your utility placement and your route of utility that you're going to place. It's a good shot there. Again, great crosshair placement. Another one's peeking out. Great, I mean, great shots. This is how important crosshair placement is just in general in this game, but more importantly on console, right? Like, you killed 2 people by headshotting in the time frame that it took them just to react to you. Alright, now I will say that you're getting a little bit overly aggressive here. Okay, that's a fucking...
I think I just got it with a welcome mat.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, they're picking up. I think you understand that they are picking up. Yeah, see.
Yeah, you got me, Jace.
I think you chalked up the kitchen window angle too much by the frost opening above a little bit here. So like, she's making the holes above, and then you kind of just chalk it up. Oh, she has that. Let me just peek sunrise. Still pay attention to your positioning. This is just I don't know how you would call it. I guess just like situational awareness, I guess you could chalk it up to. But either way, in solo queue, kind of pay attention to stuff like this. Like, look at the frost every 10 seconds, 5 seconds. to see if she's still holding kitchen window, and then you position yourself around that. Something else in this situation as well is you're just getting overly aggressive. You got two huge opening picks on a Nomad and a Buck. It's a 5v3. You got those in, in the first 10 seconds of the round, or 30, whatever it was. And there's 2 minutes left. So the attackers have to have a lot to come back from. So don't throw away that lead. You're getting the bloodthirsty and just, oh, I got 2 kills early. They were nice shots. Let me just keep peeking. This happens a lot with people. It's much better to get those opening picks, pump the brakes, play with that advantage versus throwing it away potentially. And you did do that by, I believe, getting refragged here by the Zofia, and then someone else died if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this is how fast a 5v3 can turn into a 3v3, right? They went from a 5v3 to a 3v3 in the span of, I don't know, like 15 seconds. So pretty much all of that advantage that you had in terms of man control, man advantage in numbers is gone, right? Like you lost all of it pretty much. So this is how important it is to be in control of yourself with decision making when you get 2 huge openers like that, and positioning and not over peeking and stuff. Also, to add on to this, Ashe is also 20 HP from being in the frost mat in Sunrise. So she's one shot. So you guys even have more of an advantage. But now that it's a 3v3, you've lost a lot of it. So you see where I'm getting at with this? Just be patient. Play the round out when you get into a situation like that. Okay, so operator selection here is a little interesting from your team. Flores, Sledge, Maverick. Sledge is pretty common. Flores is he's a good operator. Mav is kind of eh. Maybe he's bringing him for the nades. Nook as well, eh. And then you're bringing the Buck. I would like to see you bringing the IQ, since Valk is up on this map. Valk is a super strong operator. So just kind of look at the operator bands and then make your selection around that. So that way it's a little bit more appropriate for what the defenders, the enemies, might be bringing. Okay, so smart man, not really taking your drone into the building. Oftentimes, especially in solo queue, you'll have teammates do that for you, so you don't really need to waste that drone. So I'm going to assume that you're gonna be a little bit more cautious, maybe a little bit more adaptive with your drones and stuff, since you are saving it. I would have liked to seen you pre-aiming the Lambo door spawn peak, the lobby door. But that's just a little a gripe of mine. Alright, Nook looks like she's trying to hit the tequila on console and walk through the bomb site. Ooh, okay, so do you see how many shots that took? This is why I like Buck laser sight. Like, look how wide this spread is on the shotgun with no laser. This is why I like with a laser, it probably would have been like something like this. This would have taken like 2 shells. So I would suggest using laser. It also makes it easier for cleaner holes on vertical play, because you don't have pellets like flying out to the side more. It's kind of more centered, and the pellets are like clustered a little bit more, so the self-destruction is more consistent with the pellets and where they're landing. So I would suggest laser with Buck. Try it out. I mean, everyone has their own personal preference, but I like laser much more without. Alright, so 4v3, face checking quite a bit here. Okay. I'm gonna pause the video. Tell me what's wrong with what you just did there. We've already talked about it in the video. Tell me what's wrong with how you deployed your drone in the position that you're in. Pause the video, go down in the comments, leave a comment. We've already talked about it. Painting yourself into a corner, painting yourself into a position. If somebody is smart on the enemy team, like if I see this, I know the animation of droning, okay? Or when the drone lands, right? Like, it lands on the ground, it's kind of like skipping rocks in a lake or something like that. Like, it kind of bounces. So I see the animation of that happening. If I'm looking hookah door, I see the drone, I'm like, okay, this guy is left side door. I either shoot the drone or allow him to drone, because I might want to bait him out to swing. So let's say I don't shoot the drone when I see it like this, right? I allow him to see me, so that way he peeks me. And then I'll just pre-fire after I shoot the drone when I know he saw me, right? So he drones into the bomb site. I'm, you know, like vase or something. I shoot the drone here. I know he's left side door, so I just start pre-firing. This is like the layers to Rainbow Six. So it's important that you put yourself in the better position than the enemy. You don't want to make yourself predictable, which I see a lot of people do, especially in lower elo. Positioning is, I don't want to throw any numbers out, but it's a large portion of this game. That's what wins you a lot of gunfights, wins you a lot of rounds, wins you a lot of games, and gets you a lot of elo, right? Is positioning and just how you're taking the gunfights and stuff like that. I mean, even somebody could be, you know, hookah bar, see this drone, and then just throw in nitro out, right? Okay, so you did a good job with your drone there. You saw the Mozzie. We don't know if Mozzie's the last one up or not. Okay, so your teammate just called that last one pool table. So you did a great job of planting there, playing for the objective. I love to see that. And then you got the refrag. So actually what you did here, do you see how you pushed up, helped the Maverick, refragged him? This is a great example of doing the right thing when you were playing Bandit and Capcan was fighting the Zofia and Billards. Now something else that could have kind of added onto this is using your skeleton key, and I've kind of talked about this a little bit more in some of my previous videos, but using your utility as an attacker, especially when you have the opportunity to really mess up the enemy's predictability on you. Again, you know, we just talked about it with positioning, predictability. So if you like walk up to this wall, quickly skeleton key it, and then peek the rotate, instead of the enemy, this Mozzie, having to worry about one area, which would be this rotate into Billards, he has to worry about two, right? So this is the first one, or sorry, that's the second one, this is the first one. So he now has to worry about two different angles. So you just quickly pop a hole, swing out into Billards, and then you pre-fire. You know, you could even skeleton key him in this distance. So there's a lot of different ways you could have played the situation. That's just like another little gripe nitpick. Okay, so droning out, you know, one thing I like about your playstyle is you know what you want to do. That's something that a lot of people struggle with. It's just like being lost early round, and that eats up a lot of time. And changes how later on the round could be played. Okay, so this is a common angle. Great pick there under the smoke. That's a huge pick. Alright, so this guy is great crosshair placement. Cool vibes, and oh my god.
Blue bar and stairs behind you.
Yeah, cool vibes. So let's go over this. You have this habit, and this is something that I see you do a lot, is you get these picks and you just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. When you get opening picks like this as an attacker, unless it's like a team effort to like once you kill the smoke frost and everyone on the team's like, okay, let's just take site, right? We have 2 dead on site. Cav's gonna be roaming, they have a vigil, so like it could be a 5v2 on site, whatever it might be. Just throwing out an example. But you're doing that solo. You're getting these opening picks, which is great, and then you're pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, but you're not droning, and you don't have the team behind you in terms of refrag capabilities and just a whole bunch of other support that they should be giving you. So as a solo queue player, and just in general, when you kind of get these opening picks super early, you get these 1, 2, 3 kills in the first minute of the round, pump the brakes. I've said this before in the past. The difference between a good player and a great player when they get these opening kills as a roamer, as an entry frag, just in general in this game, is the difference between one or the other is being able to understand the advantage that they're giving them and the team so early on in the round, and you're doing a great job of that, but you're throwing it away immediately after. You did it with Jaeger when you killed the Nomad in the buck kitchen window, and you're doing it here where you're killing the smoke, which is fucking huge, and the frost, and then you just throw it away with the fuser as well. Like, they have a crossfire and diffuser, one guy blue bar, one guy cool vibes. And adding on to that, if we go a little bit further on here, so you hear this guy cool vibes right there, you hear the audio cues. and then you have a cav shooting behind you, and just kind of pay attention to these little signals, like I don't know, you would call it like suppression arrows, I guess you could say, like I don't know what to call it, but you know where this guy's shooting at you from, right? Because these white little arrows pop up, so you know where to avoid. So yeah, like you're in a crossfire here immediately between the audio cue of the Vigil on Cool Vibes, and then the Cav in Blue Bar. Actually, this might be the Cap Can.
Hey, Buck, Blue Bar and stairs behind you.
Yeah, it is the Cap Can. So we don't. All three players could be off the bomb site by now. So this is why it's important to drone. Like if you drone, and then drone Blue Bar, drone Cool Vibes, drone Kitchen. You see both of them, like the Cap Can and the Cav, you flash it out and then you cross or rotate to kitchen window and then jump in and plant. Like, you could have won the round by just planting, you know? Like, all three could very easily be off the bomb site by now. I think Vigil's above? Or he might be in lobby. No, I think Vigil's above. Okay, Vigil's above, Cav is... Oh, Vigil's not above. Okay, never mind. Oh. I was wrong. I would say take this a little slow. Something that you should be doing is adapting to the enemy. Kind of evaluating what's going on previous rounds, how they're playing them, what operators are bringing, just the overall playstyle of the enemies is something that's super important, and it allows you to adapt, play situations better. Like if I'm in this situation here, if I'm in a solo queue environment, I'm going to be a lot more site-oriented. I'm going to, as a penthouse defense, as the defenders are playing, I'm going to be going bathroom hatch, top white window, penthouse double window, instead of going on the other side of the map and then attacking that way, just because I know that they're a lot more roam-oriented of a team. Like, they have a Cav, they have an Ella, they have a Cap Can, like, a lot of the enemies were roaming last round, and in the round previously as well. So, I know that as the defenders like to play, they're a lot more roam-oriented, they're very light on the bomb site. And especially with them having a Cav and just overall a lot of roamers, doing this opposite side of the map clear is going to be much more difficult. Check your Cool Vibes. Oof. That's a huge blind spot that you just left open that could have easily been avoided. Alright, now you're doing a little bit of face checking. You droned up to Aqua by this point. Great crosshair placement. Again, like super great job with that. But yeah, you're doing a little bit too much face checking once you kind of initiate your attack. You kind of drone up to a certain point, you drone a couple rooms, whatever, and then once you surpass your drone in the position that you left it last in, you just face check. As a solo queuer or just in general, you should be droning room by room and taking room by room. So just to go back here, just to kind of give an example of what I would be doing in this situation if I were attacking from here, I would drone Hookah, drone Cool Vibes, drone Vase, look down VIP long haul, peep my head into Billards, and then I would take Hookah, I would drone deeper into Billards, probably leave a flank cam in Billards, and then drone long haul, like 90 close VIP double door, so that way I can cross from the 90 angle safely into Billards. And then when I'm in Billards, I would drone into Aqua, luggage, I would take luggage. You see where I'm getting at with this. So room by room, or a couple rooms, whatever it might be. Especially since you have two drones, you can set up one on a flank, like for this example, leave one on Cool Vibes, and then throw your other one, drone deeper into the bomb site, flick back periodically as you're droning, stuff like that. So, yeah. Okay, so one thing that I will say with like how you position yourself here in terms of vertically is this person that you're hearing could have walked up white stairs, and then like been close left door here and then crouched walk in, and you probably wouldn't have seen him. So like holding like an angle here on the left side crouched, so that way there's no option for this Ella to potentially walk in, crouch walk in without you seeing her. And also with you standing like this, you're exposing yourself to VIP long haul as well. Just another thing. But this is kind of like didn't really like establish your angles, so to speak. Like you kind of like step back off of the angle, if that makes sense. Like you were scared to fight it. Alright, that is going to be the end of the VOD review. If you guys enjoyed or learned something from it, make sure you guys leave a like and consider subscribing, as we're getting very, very close to 50,000 subs. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's links to all of my social media as well as my coaching service. If you guys want a VOD review like this, but is an hour long and very in-depth, I've helped over 200 clients. So if you guys are interested in that, there's a link to my Patreon down below for my coaching service. And yes, I do coach console players. Overall, for this viewer though, the main things that I would want him to focus on is face checking, playing overly aggressive, and also getting on default cams and getting on drones when he's dead. Those are the three biggest things. A little gripe would be situational awareness on the enemy's positioning, also audio cues and stuff like that. But that's a little bit smaller of an issue that I think he has. But he can still definitely work on that. That's everything I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.